It was one of those mornings where my eyeballs were growing stubble. I needed a cup of coffee. I needed it bad. But I knew things weren't going to go my way when I got to the corner diner. My pal Dick was pounding on the door. I headed to the office where I had a jar of instant, but that was just 1 inch better than nothing. But the dozen bagels and tub of cream cheese in the fridge would help. Turned out to be the best decision I made that day. Fred Ford speaking. Fred Ford speaking. Yeah? I find missing persons. Who did you lose? Well, if you don't know who it is, it'll probably run you a little extra. When did this unknown person go missing? Yeah? Well, that will definitely cost you more. It sounds like a lot of work. What's your address? I can be there in a couple of hours. The voice on the line belonged to a babe. She sounded so hot. She burned right through the wires. She said her name was Lil. She wanted me to find a missing person, but she wasn't sure who it was or how long they'd been gone. That rang my cash register loud and clear. But mostly, I couldn't wait to see her. I even headed out before I finished the last bagel. The address she gave me belonged to an art gallery in a dodgy neighborhood downtown. But that's the art biz these days. The uptown crowd likes their artists new and preferably starving. So they slum it in search of the latest thing. His joint sounded like the kind of place you had to take a freight elevator to get to. The sign on the street read, Lil 7 Lil. The elevator opened into a big empty room with a few paintings on the walls, and one covered on an easel in the middle. I was trying to figure out which end was up when I heard her come up behind me.
Well, I see you don't waste any time, Mr. Ford. I like that in a man.
I'll just bet you. Wait! Lil? Lil Avant?
That's right. I'm Lil Event. I own the place.
I've got to admit, I was surprised. Knocked out. Bowled over. I recognize this babe, and she looked the same as she did the last time I saw her, 50 years ago. Hard to believe it, Lil. You haven't changed at all. You've been down here all the time?
I've been around. Nice to see you haven't changed either, Red.
Pretty much. Did you know who I was when you called me?
Of course. Somebody told me you were in the snooping business, and I needed a job done. And I've got to admit, I was curious about you. I heard about that last picture Gurion painted of you.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it in a long time. But I see myself in the mirror, and I don't look bad for my age.
I guess that mirror must be pretty worn thin by now, Red. You never were exactly modest.
I guess there must be a painting of you hanging around somewhere too, by the looks of you. Have you seen it?
Sure, I've seen it. Pretty recently, as a matter of fact.
It was 1933. We didn't know it then, but before the end of the year, booze would be legal again and drunks could go public. But for now, we stay below ground and slug down smuggled bottles of French bubbly from our wealthy pals, like Chatsworth K. Wright.
Here's to my pal, Red Ford, and his simmering sex. Although it doesn't seem fair that he has both stunning looks and great talent. I'm willing to swallow my pride and wish you the best year ever, Red. And I have a surprise for you. Happy New Year.
Hi, Chad. Hello, everyone. Is this my New Year's baby?
Well, it's not old Father Times. Red, meet Lil Event. She's in the art game and wanted to see something new.
And that was the first time I saw Lil. She stunned me stupid. I nearly swallowed my mouthpiece.
Hello, Red. What can you blow for me to celebrate the new year?
I'm all yours, Miss Evand. You want it loud and hot, or sweet and slow?
It's up to you. I love a good sax any way I can take it.
And that was it. We didn't leave each other's sides until Al Gurion, artist extraordinaire, showed up a few months later, and then it all went south.
Your luck's run out, Red. You're totally ruined. Even your peanuts are gone.
Wrong about the peanuts, Gurion. I've got plenty more where they came from. I'll give you an IOU for the rest.
I'm afraid this won't work this time, my friend. I'm not taking IOUs tonight. It's time to settle our accounts.
If I can't pay you off, how can we settle my accounts? You gonna take my sax?
What would I do with it? I can't play it, and it's too battered to sell. But I have a proposition for you.
Lay it on the table. I'm ready for anything.
I want to paint your picture. As you are right now, young and beautiful. Maybe holding your horn.
That's it? Sounds pretty easy. Like I should pay you, even.
Let's just say I want to do this as an experiment. I've been reading a lot lately, and I'm intrigued with a legend. Have you heard of Dorian Gray?
Right. The guy who stayed young while his picture aged. I still don't know whether this gets me out of debt.
Suppose I could make an enchanted picture of you, and you would never age unless somebody destroyed it. What do you think that would be worth?
You're nuts. Nobody can do that. It was just a story. But if you did do it, it would be worth a mint.
It would be worth a veritable fortune. You sign a contract with me, letting me paint the portrait and giving me full rights to it. If it doesn't work, you're not out anything. If it does, I'm famous and it will be the making of me.
That's it?
You would have to visit the painting from time to time, of course. I would take a picture of you next to it each time to show the changes.
This is too easy.
Well, if it works, I would be able to murder you at any time by destroying the picture, just as it happened in the book.
But you wouldn't, because that would be the end of your big experiment.
Probably. But there's something else I want that would make me erase your considerable debt.
I knew it.
I want Lil.
Lil? Well, that would be up to her.
There are ways around that. I paint you and wipe out your debt. You disappear. I'll take it from there. You choose eternal youth or a fading relationship with an aging woman.
You're making me hate myself, Girion. Where do I sign? You saw your picture recently?
Very.
And how did it look?
About the way you'd expect it to, but how do you like my gallery? I did it all myself.
Nice place, Lil. Not too much stuff in it.
Yeah, well, I don't like clutter. It confuses the clients.
Looks like the pictures do that pretty much on their own. Now, about this missing person. You said you didn't know who it was?
Oh, I know who it is. All right. But if I told you on the phone, you might not have come down here.
Somebody I know.
You bet it is.
I'd felt this bad feeling before, and I didn't like it. I'm guessing it must have been Girion.
Bingo. You might be a rat, Red, but you're obviously not an idiot.
About that.
This isn't the time. We have business. And I want your help without any complications.
So you want to find Girion after all these years. What's the hurry?
I've got a painting that I need you to see. It showed up on my doorstep wrapped in swaddling clothes a few months ago. You might need a real drink before you see it, though.
This was getting deeper by the minute. But for a chance to get back at Girion and make it all up to Lil, I'd do this gig for free. You got bourbon?
House okay?
Yeah, fine by me. It's not 12 yet. I always save the good stuff till afternoon. Join me?
Chin chin. Take a deep breath. It's unveiling time. 1, 2.
Jesus! What is this? It looks like...
Anyone you know?
Well, it's obviously not Whistler's mother.
He's got to be grateful for that.
It looks pretty much like a skeleton with smallpox to me. But there's something familiar in the left eye twist.
Yeah?
Oh, geez, Lil. It couldn't be.
It could be. And it is. That's why we need to find Gurion. I think it's a threat.
He can't do anything to you if you've got the painting yourself, babe.
If it's the original, I can't take a chance. You're the only one I can trust to find out.
I know that he was hanging around at Warhol's place 10 years ago, and that was the last I saw of him.
Still painting?
No, I don't think so. At least not like he used to. When did he do this one?
About a year after you left. He said he wanted to keep me beautiful.
And looks like he got his wish.
No time for flattery now, Red. Whatever happened to yours?
I don't know. The last time I saw it was 30 years ago. He ran me down in a coffee house in the village. It was 1956. I was rooting for the Dodgers.
Hey, Red, what's shaking, man?
Yeah, nothing yet, Maynard. I need an eye-opener.
I got like just the thing for you. A 1956 Simply Series Special Brew. Espresso and Coke syrup. The chicks love it. It's guaranteed to make you leap the bleachers in a single bound. I'll send it over with Peg right in a minute.
Great. How about a couple of cannolis, too?
Our kids love the slick on their early morning flakes, wet and nursed at oil wells and weaned on crude. They crave their next fix. And wine with a petroleum jelly on their morning toast, like rusty cars in the Dust Bowl. One day, they'll give their lives for Esso and Texaco.
Here's your coffee and cannoli, Red. It's amazing how you never gain weight with all you pack away.
Yeah, just lucky, I guess.
You'll have to give me some of your lucky genes then. By the way, there was a guy in here earlier looking for you.
There's always somebody looking for me. Did he say who he was?
Nope. Just asked me to give you something. Hang on, I'll be back in a minute.
I thought about slipping out the back before anybody unpleasant could appear. But the coffee was kicking in, and I got a shot of Dutch courage. Peg pulled up a couple of minutes later with a package in her hand.
He said you'd understand when you saw this. Hey, Red, you okay?
I understood all right. It was Girian's own copy of the picture of Dorian Gray. I even checked page 45 where he'd written the date he painted my portrait. I hadn't seen him since right after the war. A lot had changed since then. I still felt lousy about leaving Lil to him. I heard she'd got hooked on the hard stuff with his help. Yeah, I'm fine. What did this guy look like?
Just the way you'd expect me to, Red.
Jesus, Girian! Give a guy a warning!
If I did that, Red, I'd never see you again.
So you guys want to be left alone, I guess.
We've got business, my friend. You're looking the same as always. Suave, handsome, young. I'm delighted.
So now you've seen me? Your job is done.
Oh, but the deal is that you have to see the portrait and pose with it. Shall we go?
I'll trust you. It's got wrinkles and scars. You don't need me to prove it.
Sorry, Red, you know the deal. If you don't visit your picture, I could just decide to shred it. And then what would happen to you?
I still don't understand how you did it, Girian. It's too weird for me. But I'm not going to complain. I'm 45 years old and I still look like a kid.
Correction, a handsome kid. Wait until you see the picture. You'll be filled with gratitude.
I've got to admit, I was curious. And I couldn't understand why Girian didn't do the magic on himself. He was beginning to look frayed around the edges. I figured we'd go see the picture and I'd be back at the cafe before the game started.
Welcome to my world. It's the maid's days off, so we'll need to get your own drinks.
Ah, nice digs, Girian. The portrait biz suits you. Congrats.
It's solid, Red. There will always be people who want to stare at themselves. If they could, they'd take pictures of themselves all day long. I'm just the middleman with the brush. I sell dreams.
Nice abstracts you got hanging around here. I've always liked 8-foot-high drips.
I met a fellow rummaging through a trash can and offered him $1 for food. It seems he sells his artwork door to door, and I caught him on his lunch break. I liked what he had to sell. And speaking of which, what are you doing these days? I haven't seen you play anywhere in a while.
I got tired of that life and moved on.
I thought it was impossible to get too much sax. So, what now?
I've been looking into starting my own snoop business. You meet a lower class of people that way.
Like it, Red.
Oh, man. A real fatso, aren't I? And the saggy face doesn't do anybody proud but a basset hound. Can't say I'm loving those pig eyes either. What's that scar across my mouth?
You should know that, Red. I didn't put it there. And just think, if you keep on going the way you are, it's only going to get worse.
I could have died happy without seeing this thing. You know, I didn't think the immortal youth thing would work.
But it did, and now you're hooked.
Sure. Who wouldn't be?
It's time for your snapshot. Stand next to the easel with the same pose. I think you'd do almost anything to continue this way, wouldn't you?
I already have.
Okay, so you saw your picture and it was awful. And this is, well, we understand each other. Now we've got to find Gurion and get him out of our way. He's the only one who knows what to do with them.
Otherwise,
Exactly. And once that's done, we have to split for good, Red.
I'm sorry about the first time, Lil. I've always been sad about the way it worked out.
Let's face it. It took a lot out of me when you disappeared. Things were pretty blurry for a long time. I never understood why you left.
Gurion never told you?
He knew. He said it was a mystery to him why you leave after he painted your magic picture. He thought it was pretty ungrateful. You want to tell me something?
It's a long story, babe. Maybe later on. In the meantime, I'll start snooping. I'll let you know what I find. But before I go...
Too bad about us. Maybe in another 50 years.
He didn't say we'd last that long. He just promised we wouldn't look it. When I left the gallery, I headed uptown to Girion's old place. There were lights on. A skinny blonde looked out the window and disappeared. It was obvious that this was a dead end. I needed a drink. The TikTok called my name, so I headed back to my world. It was the usual crowd, quiet and half plastered by 10 o'clock. After the day I'd had, it was a relief to be back home. I wanted to forget about Lil and the pictures and Gurion for a while. I could smell the TikTok's famous pastrami even before I got in the door.
Hi, Red. Long time no see.
Yeah, I could say the same about you, Maxine. How's the tabloid trade? Still scribbling for the rags?
Sure. Whoever pays me gets the ink. You're a private dick. Got any juicy stories for me? I'm between assignments and I'm getting bored.
Maybe we could help each other. I'm looking for a missing artist for an old friend of mine. Haven't seen him myself in 10 years.
Thanks. What makes this paint slinger so important?
He's got a vintage canvas he's hiding, and my art dealer friend wants it. It could be a good payday for them both.
It must be some painting if she's shelling out. For you to find him, unless she's paying you some other way.
to one of a kind. The market's hot for that kind of stuff now.
What's the painting look like? Is it filthy? Would I like it?
I doubt you'd give it a second glance. It's a fat old man with pig eyes. But I need the artist first.
What's in it for me, Helen?
The usual. Plus a bonus if you work quick.
So nothing plus nothing. Sounds good to me. What's this genius's name?
Alan Gurion. He was rich in the 50s. Had a place on the Upper East. I don't think he's there now, though. He probably snorted his fortune away.
Good time to hit him up for a painting. You got a picture of him?
He never liked cameras much. Just picture the love child of Peter Lorre and Eleanor Roosevelt.
Funny champ. I'll sift through them all tomorrow and see what I can find. I assume I can use anything I find for myself.
Just let me hit it first. Then you've got my blessing to do whatever you want. You got my number?
In every way possible. You buying for the rest of the night?
It's the least I can do.
Yes, it is. Bring out the good stuff, Harry.
I knew I could trust Maxine's nose. She was the born bloodhound and didn't get sidetracked easily. In the meantime, I wanted to see Lil again. She took up a lot of room in my head. Too much room. Yeah, it's better be good. Even noon. Slow down, Maxine. When did it happen? Okay. I'll meet you at Rudy's in an hour. Yeah, I'm buying. She looked faster than I thought she would. And what she told me hit me like a runaway garbage truck. I couldn't get dressed fast enough.
Hey, Red. You look awful. I didn't think that was possible. Want some coffee?
Yeah, thanks, Maxine. Let's cut to the chase. Show me the clips.
That's what I've always loved about you, Red. You might be handsome as a prince, but you've got the manners of a frog. Take a gander at these.
The folder was full of her bits. Plenty of them. One of them even had a picture of Gearing in his heyday. So he's dead. Why didn't I ever see any of these when they came out?
You have to read the paper, handsome. Looks like your pal Gurion died a few years ago. Didn't leave any heirs either.
Alan Gurion, hyper-realist portrait artist for almost 40 years, died Sunday of unknown causes. His housekeeper found him on the floor in front of a slashed painting. He was said to be in his mid-60s. Jesus. What do we know about the painting?
I love the way you keep your priorities straight, Red. My sympathies for your loss. But about the painting, nothing. You have everything I found. You want to know more? Just add shoe leather. I didn't sign up to do the whole job for you. You want breakfast? I'm hungry.
Yeah, sure. Make the eggs scrambled and fried. A short stack of pancakes on the side. A little maple syrup. Maybe a bacon or two. And a big glass of tomato juice. I'll read these while I'm waiting. Well, I guess I'll head down to the cop shop for more.
Good luck with that. It doesn't look like they spent much time looking for the perp. Nobody cares about dead painters but the tabloids. And even we're a little blaze. This guy was pretty much Mr. Nowhere.
I raced through the clips while I ate. Maxine left before I did. I paid our bill and left a big tip. Then I headed out to the local precinct to see if I could call in a favor or two. As I walked to the PD, my head was spinning with questions like an out-of-balance roulette wheel. Did Lil know that Girion was dead? If she did, why did she send me on a goose chase to find him? Whose picture was slashed when Girion died? Where was my painting? Did he write down anything about the deal we made? Did Lil have it? Did she do Girion in? Was I next on the hit list? I figured Conroy at the cop shop would have something I could use.
Morning, Red. Looking for clients?
Not this time, Conroy.
Too bad. There's a rich kid over there whose parents were out of town. I bet they'd be glad to have you take care of this. I could introduce you.
I've already spoken for today, but keep me in mind next time. I'm trying to dig up a 3-year-old corpse. You know who'd have the info?
Who was it? Anybody I know?
I doubt it. He was a painter by the name of Girion. I don't suppose it rings any bells.
No, Gurion. It wouldn't, except a babe was in here a few weeks ago looking for that very same guy. A real stunner. I made nice and did a little scouting for her. She said her name was Lil from down the village.
I know Lil. She didn't mention she'd been looking around on her own. As a matter of fact, she even neglected to mention that Girion was already dead.
That's weird. I even gave her copies of some of the crime scene shots. I don't do that for just anybody.
Get you anywhere, Conrad?
Nope, she didn't bat an eye. You guys, Valentines, you look like you belong together.
With strictly business these days. I can see these pictures.
I could broker a couple of copies for you at the records, but it'll take me a day. How fast do you need them?
Get them ready by the time I get over there. And I'll recommend you for a promotion next time I see the mayor.
Yeah, I'd rather you recommend me for your gorgeous friend. She's my card, in case she lost the one I gave her. And maybe you want something else.
Yeah? What's that?
I was holding them for if she came back. A couple of pawn tickets somebody bought in. The stiffs, pants pocket. They fell out of the envelope when she opened it. I don't think she noticed.
Check them out.
I might have.
Interesting?
How much is it worth to you?
Might be worth 20 on a good day. I'll just take a look at them, decide.
Money first, and then you take them. Nobody else wants them.
I paid. They were for a shop in the back alley in Chinatown. Unfortunately, the printing was in Chinese. You speak Mandarin these days?
I know a guy.
And?
He checked him out. He said there were just a couple of life-size paintings of ugly people. Nothing worth anything. But whoever dropped them off said to hold them for 7 years. No matter what happened, they paid extra.
On the way to the hawk shop. With the crime scene shots.
Taxi!
showed Gearin all right. Signs of violence, but like hell. I couldn't make out the picture in the background. Battery. When I got to the pawn shop, it was closed. So I changed course and headed over to Lil's. Hello, Lil.
Hello, Red. Got something for me already?
Yeah, well, I'm a professional.
What did you find out?
I have Girian's latest address.
What address?
His last known?
Yeah? Where is he?
Right where he's been for the last 3 years. Under a headstone.
You mean he's...
No more games, babe. You've been working to beat yourself. Your last mugshot.
What are you talking about?
I have a friend at the cop shop. He was pretty impressed with you. You should have played ball if you wanted to keep his mouth shut.
You're not making any sense, Red.
Why's that?
I don't know any cops.
I don't like games, doll. You must remember that. What really happened to Girian?
I have no idea. I haven't seen him in years.
You saw his last picture. His body under the mangled portrait. Was it you?
Maybe I did see a picture of it. But I don't know anything about what happened to him. Nor does anybody else. That's why I hired you, Red. I couldn't trust anyone else. I know you.
But I don't know anything about you anymore. Last time I saw you, you were nodding off in the back room of Mike's. I wasn't any too sure you would make it. So I took Girian's deal and split before the inevitable happened.
Gurian's deal.
You're smart, Lil. Even if he didn't tell you, you must have figured out he was behind my disappearing act. It was a trade. My youth for you. You could have escaped any time you wanted.
If I could have stayed clean long enough. But he had the horse, and I had the hunger. That's all history. What did you find out about your picture? If Gurian's dead, where is it?
You tell me.
I hired you for that, didn't I?
You hired me to chase after a dead man. Where did your picture really come from? Did you want me to find mine, to make a matching set? Or were you planning to finish me off with it?
Give me a minute before I answer that. I have something for you. It's party time, Red. We have something to celebrate.
Thanks. Nice vintage. But what are we celebrating?
It's the end of the road for one of us.
Yeah? That sounds like a threat. You wouldn't threaten me now, would you, Lil? Not with your picture 10 feet away.
I think it's time to pull out the missing card, Red. How does this look to you?
She held my picture in front of her. And just like Girian said it would be, it was worse than the last time I saw it. I was massively fat, and I could almost hear myself wheezing. I had some kind of skin disease on my face, and my hands were twisted like claws. I was bald. Totally bald. I grabbed at it, but she was fast and she put it up on an easel. We made a matching set. Where did you get it?
The same place I got the other one. In the back room of a hawk shop. But let's play a little game, Red. Let's play chicken with the pictures. Whoever wins takes everything. I even brought us weapons. Pick a hand.
Left.
Ah, the X-Acto knife. That leaves me with the box cutter. Have at my canvas, my friend, before I slash yours to bits.
Something in the way she was running this show froze the blood in my veins, but I didn't have any choice. Where did you get the porn shop ticket?
I'll tell you later. Now let's get back to our game. Get ready. Get set. Nice job, Red. That's the end of that painting.
What happened? The painting aged. You stay beautiful. And you're supposed to croak when the painting goes, just like in the story.
Don't believe everything you read, lover. That's what Gurion fed you. But you were the only one that spell worked for. Even he couldn't figure that out.
So, the portrait above his dead body was.
Him, as he was when he was young. Never good looking. Just young. I slashed it for kicks.
And you erased him.
Call it practice. I found some aconite and managed to literally rub him out with it. He had a bad heart anyway. The coroner was sloppy.
And this one?
The painting isn't me. It's someone you know a lot better. This is my grandmother, Lil, a few months before she died.
Your grandmother. My Lil.
That's right, your Lil. The doll Gurion hooked on horse. The babe you left to his clutches. She told me all about you. And about the painting, and how you'd age instantly if it was ever destroyed.
This is what she looked like at the end. Too bad. Who did the brushwork?
Gurion did. He didn't like you much. Jealousy, I guess. When he saw me at Grandma's funeral, he approached me with a plan. He did the picture, and we were going to work together. Then he died. I found the pawn tickets in his pocket, got the paintings, and planted copies in the effects that your cop pal gave me.
Why bother? Why send me on a chase?
I figured you needed the exercise. And I like games. But it's time to finish this story.
You won, Lil. Chalk another one up for Grandma.
Too bad, Red. You were gorgeous. But at least I have your picture to remember you by.